Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Thank you for being here to this roundtable and panel on animation financing and co-production. So we will have two parts in this discussion. First, we will have the perspective, the fund perspectives, and then on the second time, we will have a roundtable about making international co-production work. So first, let me call on stage three representatives of funds. First, Markéta Šandrochová, representative of Czech Audiovisual Fund, Simone Baumann, managing director of German Films, and Daniela Elsner, executive director of Unifrance. Hi, so we have to go a bit quick because we have a tight schedule. So Markéta, can you tell us a little bit about maybe the novelty on the incentive about animation in Czech the Audiovisual Fund?
I'll be happy to, and I try to keep it short. So the Czech Audiovisual Fund is introducing this year a completely new system of funding. That means extending support from films to series as well. And for animation, it means also like support for short films, feature-length films, series, and also games. We will have a dedicated committee that will evaluate all the projects, because that's also, I hope, will bring better results on the projects. It means also, of course, minority co-productions in animation. So producers among you who are interested, please come to us. And when it comes to tax incentives, we have 25% for live action, but 35% for animation. So that's also, I think, a bit good news. Thank you.
Yeah, you can applause.
Come use it. And we have, of course, great studios, great producers. If you want to know more, we have a pavilion here at 139 Village International. I also brought some materials, so you can pick them with my colleague or just come to the pavilion. And I use the opportunity to also mention our magazine, Czech Film, because there you can also find an article about the new project that Petr Okropec is preparing, who will be speaking later. And last but not least, of course, for the changes, we have to secure financing. So we have higher level of levies in the industry and also obligation for the streamers, which is 3.5%. They can decide if it's a levy or direct investment obligation, so that should secure doubled funds actually for the support. So that's it from Czech Republic.
Thank you, Markéta. Simone, same questions. So can you tell us about the novelty on German film side?
Actually, for German cinema, animation, German animation, these are the most commercially most successful films abroad we have. It's almost every year German animation does more than half of the box office of German films internationally. So that's why animation is very important for us, but also because the films are universal and we have very good studios, very good producers. You will see two of them later on the panel. So it's really something we appreciate, and we also extended our promotion activities towards that. In terms of financing, I have to admit we don't have any new levies or changes, but animation is supported by all our film funds, by the National Film Fund, and also by the 9 regional film funds. 3 of them are more active in animation. It's MFG in Stuttgart and Baden-Württemberg, Moin in Hamburg, and MDM, Mitteldeutsche Medienförderung in Leipzig, but also all the others are supporting it. We don't have special calls for animation, so as a producer with your co-producer, you can submit for every session. Unfortunately, we don't have a tax incentive yet, and also no investment obligation. We are really hoping that this is coming up, maybe next year, maybe 27. So that's not the case right now, but we are on the way to establish that. And that's it. And also the same for us, German Films. We have a pavilion. My colleague is here, Ina Sommer. She's in charge of animation. So if you have any questions or anything, please welcome. You can ask us. Thank you.
Thank you, Simone. And Daniela, I think you know the drill now. So
Yes. Hello, nice to meet you. Thanks for having us here. Well, you know, UniFrance, we are doing promotion of French films and TV worldwide. And our part of animation films in the box office last year, for instance, we had 6.5 million admissions worldwide with the French animation films, and which represents only 17% of our global box office. So maybe animation can even do more. I think this year and last year also, we have, of course, this great example of Flow, which you had just this case study, but Flow is actually a great film that also shows the unity of Europe when it comes to production of animation films, because Flow, it's French, it's all other countries in Europe. So, and I think that's also a beautiful sign that the Oscar came to it, because it's a European Oscar also, not only, of course, from Latvia also, of course, and we congratulate, but it's a European Oscar and we should all be proud of it. As for UniFrance, you know that we don't finance. So if you have financing questions, you have to go to the CNC. We do help you afterwards. Once you sold the film, you produced it, it's in a festival. We have a special fund to help distributors in different countries for animation films to distribute them, so that you can ask our teams for that. And we developed some other new things, especially we have a new, let's say, action called My Father, My French Animation Days, which we try around the World Animation Day in October. We try to reach out with TV series to schools all over the world in the very, let's say, preschool with nice trailers to help them to work around what is an animation, how do you make animation, what is it actually that I might every morning watch on TV while waiting to go to school. And then we go through the day with growing older. Somehow we go to the schools, let's say students, and we try to do some panels, and we do sponsor at night a lot of films that might be in cinemas and have premieres all over the world. So this is our new scheme, which we started last year, very small, but we will hopefully grow thanks to all of you. And also we are part of a European project called Anima Mundi, which is going to be focused the first year very much on facts and figures. And I think it's very clear here, if we don't have the facts and figures, we don't know what we're talking about. And I think it's impressive that our European animation travels throughout the world, and I think this is what we all want to achieve in the future. So I think the producers are here to help us to make these films, that you bring them to us. So I wish you a great panel, and maybe some of you come to our cocktail later on the terrace of UniFrance together with Annecy Film Festival, which we shouldn't forget, because I see them here and in the room. And I think we are also very lucky in France to have, of course, Annecy as a festival and market in France. And we will be there in 1 month, even less, so less tired, hopefully, but we will be there. So see you, thank you.
Thank you very much, Daniela, and thank you very much for, perfect timing. So thank you very much, and and I invite you off stage, because I have to call on stage my, thank you again, my panelists, because as Daniela just said, and earlier we saw the presentation about Flow, co-production is a success in Europe especially, so we will talk in a few minutes about how do animation co-productions come to life and succeed. So let me call on stage the wonderful panelists, and it's complicated to play with this paper. Emily Christians, Managing Director and Executive Producer for Ulysses Film, who produces The Amazing Maurice and Amazing Maurice 2, for example. Yeah, let's come on stage, Emily. Marc Fay, director, producer, and founder of the production company Novanima in France, and who produced Living Large, for example. Yep. Petr Outkropet, director, producer, and co-founder of the production company Negative in Czech Republic, and producer of My Cinemad. And last but not least, Thorsten Wegner, business operation director at Studio 100 in Germany, who produces ID, for example, Rescue of the Lynx. I invite you to sit. You are the lucky ones. Everyone has their mic? Everyone needs to find its place. It seems perfect. So we'll talk about, of course, co-production, but to start, we have to start with how co-production start, actually. How do you meet your co-producer and how on what this co-production is based, on what is based on. Is it just about money? It's about creative? How do you start a co-production and how do you find your partners? So maybe I'll start with you, Emily.
Yeah, sure. So the project we are invited here for is The Amazing Maurice, which we finalized in 2022. We started this whole process in 2015 by inviting the agent of Terry Pratchett, who was still alive at this time, to our screening of our Oops film. And he liked the film so much that he thought, okay, why not giving these UK rights to a German company, which was quite unusual. And then we started to write the script, to develop the designs, first only in Germany. And then we started seeking for co-producers. We went to Canada and wanted to look there. And then I was in a dinner in Canada and was sitting beside somebody, and he said, oh, if it's a Terry Pratchett, you have to talk to Andrew Baker in UK. And so that's how it happened. So via Canada, we came to a German-UK co-production. So it's based on a novel.
It's based on a novel, and it's based on meeting people who are giving you advices. And maybe you can share also your experiences or your point of view on why and how a co-production can have a start.
Yeah, me? Okay. Studio 100, we are in the lucky position to be owner of a few interesting IPs. So IPs like Maya the Bee, Victor Viking, or Heidi belong to us. And we started something like 10, 12 years ago to produce these independent animated family movies. And it has been our idea and our lineup to start with the first Maya the Bee movie, followed by Heidi. But since the first Maya movie was such a big success for us, it made a worldwide box office of 30 million, we decided to change our strategy. So Heidi was a little bit pushed back, but we started thinking about the project already 10, 12 years ago. And Heidi, as we all know, is a public domain story from Johanna Spyri, and it's been our idea to keep the story in the world of Heidi, but also tell something new. Also, in terms of the visual approach, Heidi is based on the famous Heidi TV series out of the 70s, where Miyazaki designed Heidi. And that's been important for us to keep the look and to transfer the look into nowadays. And so we had enough time to start working on the script and on the story, which was a bit complicated because, again, we wanted to keep the world as it is, but bring something new. And it was Rob Sprackling from England who then wrote this wonderful script. And that was then the moment when we started to budget. I mean, that's also been 5 years, 6 years ago, where we then started to budget the movie. And it has always been clear for us, since it's a very German-speaking property, it should have been always a major production for us. And so we financed and we produced 70% of the project in Germany, and the step to find a co-producer was not so big for us. Since we are also shareholder of Three Doubles in Spain, we said, okay, makes sense to co-produce with them, and then there is another co-producer, Hotel Hungaria, who came in from Belgium with 10%, but that mainly for financing reasons. So there was no event where we presented the project, but just based on the personal contacts and on the wonderful experience of working with Three Doubles before and other projects, that was the choice.
Petre, on My Sonimad, also, how did this co-production started?
Yeah.
Yes, again, it's just because you see here is for money reasons, and you.
Yes, I'm coming from a Prague-based company, Negative. We do live action mostly, but we did animation as well. We have a long relationship with Czech famous female director Michala Pavlatova, and she's first lady of Czech animation. She is multi-awarded, and we did her shorts, her 2 live-action films, and she was spotted by French producer Rondaens from Sacrebleu, which was mentioned. This company was mentioned today with
Just
connected
a bit before.
with yeah. And so she was spotted, and we did together her short film called Tram. It was premiered here in Kanzen and awarded in Annecy. So it was successful, and it was also the fun, because Ron is a funny guy, and we find some chemistry of our relationship and how we think about the animation, about the film. So it was smoothly done that when we started to prepare the My Sunny Mat, which is based by the book. It was a long development before we seeking Sacrebleu as a partner on it. So it was natural that we came to run the first, and then it was also, it makes a long way to do the film. It was 7 years to do it, so we had a different schedule, but we was lucky because we was significantly supported by Czech Film Fund. So I'm promoting Czech growing animation industry. So it was significant that we have the background of this, and we started to learn how to manage the long feature animation, how to manage the workflow, how to cooperate with other countries, how to split everything. So it was a good experience again. So the film was successful internationally, and yeah, it's a good example, nothing bad.
A good example, and also you said it was like a natural way to do. The co-production was natural.
Yeah, it's natural because we are author-driven company, and I think it's all about the taste and about the talent of the director mostly. So we build up around the talent, all the strategy and all the financing, so on. So we are lucky that we have this famous director in our company as a part. So.
And Mark, do you want to add also something about co-production and how it starts?
Well, it was something really particular because we met together in Clermont Film Festival, the place where we used to show our short animated film. We are producing animated film for 20 years now, and we usually go on this place. And there was a reconnection pitch where Agata Jelenkova from Novinsky present his project, and after the pitch we have a discussion about this logotype Michelin Man. Because and I don't know why we discuss about it, is the fact this is my great-grandfather who are the inventor of Michelin Man, and he was also the pioneer of animation film in 2D before Walt Disney. So we keep contact together, and after there was a COVID crisis, and they sent me photo of Michelin Man from Slovakia, from Czech Republic. So we keep contact like that. And after they say to me, okay, we are free for 2 weeks because the lockdown are open now. We can come and see you in Paris. And they told me about their project of Living Large. So we need a French co-producer. We have the rights of the book of Michael Olivier named La Vie en Gros. And we need to apply for a reimage, to find different funds in France to secure our finance. and I say, and they want to, and Novanima can help them also for 2D animation part, because we use two techniques in Living Large: stop motion with puppet and 2D animation. So we take care of 2D animation. And that's why we begin this crazy story, because it was our first feature films for us, for Kristina Dovkova, the director, for Barletta and for Nowinski. And so we say, okay, we are crazy. We're going to do low budget films, 2.5 millions, and we will try it. And so.
And it worked out very well, because it was a success. But it's very interesting to see that there is very different starting points to co-production, and all of them ended with success, which is great. But can you tell us a little bit more about maybe the challenges that, for this movie or other movies you did, the challenges you faced in securing financing for an animation co-production? Thorsten?
Yeah, okay. Well, we finance our movies who have a budget of 10 to 15 millions as a classical independent as well. That means we always have a mix of minimum guarantees, pre-sales, own investments, but also lots of funding. And especially for Heidi, we had 5 different German fundings which we had to apply. And we divide the whole financing process into two phases. The first phase we call it soft launch, soft closing. Soft closing means that we are filing the applications according to our financing plan, and in that case we've been lucky. In the first round we got the funding, which then starts the second phase called the hard closing. And the hard closing is turning the decisions from the funding institutions into agreements based on a closed financing. And this is mostly a kind of chicken and egg situation, because you need to prove the financing is closed. Everybody has his funding at hand, which is difficult, of course. So you always have to find a way around, especially when you work with tax incentives who come in late at the end of the production. So that is one of the big challenges, to always find a way for that. And another challenge in terms of the financing is, of course, and always the cash flow question. So that you need to make sure the money is coming when you need it. And we know that the money from the funding institutions is coming in different installments, never as you need it during the production. So that's another important aspect when it's about the financing.
You want to add something, Emily?
Yeah, for example, we were lucky that we are based in Hamburg, and you mentioned this as one of the funds who support animation very well. So I think the challenge is to get this initial bit of financing in place, and then people follow and believe that this can be done. And I agree, it's quite difficult to match also different national funding systems, like we had the UK and Germany, and to bring this together on paper and with agreements with really big distribution companies, I think the legal part was a real challenge in our case.
And at the same time, I may just add something more. At the same time, you are ramping up the production. I mean, you start spending money, and you know that you need to move on, but you cannot be too advanced. You should not start at the production yet. That is always a very tricky and tricky thing.
Petra? Wait.
Yeah, I work with the budget 3.4 million, and we raised almost half of this budget in our country. But then started the financing in France, which took more time than we expected. We have to learn about the French system, and we discover how competitive it is here. So it's how short are slots for the animations. And for example, we competed with the Swallow of Kabul, which was the similar topic, the film animation, which is also nice. So there was a lot of things around how to manage this, and we were lucky with the Reunion region, where we animated half of the movie, which was the key point when our cooperation with France turning to the real one, I have to say.
And Mark, maybe did you face some challenges you want to share as well?
We share a strategy with our co-producers, so we just think the lower budget we have and or higher we need to find public funds to so it means the budget needs to be secure and to be secure about the eligibility of the different funds. We need to apply, for example, a local fund, regional fund, CNC, and we need to have good percentages, like first it's different to be bilateral or multilateral co-productions. And also there is some issue about the intensity of public funds, public budgets. So we need to secure more than 50% of our budget with public funds. So we need to have a lot of meeting with them to explain all our workflow and the way we're going to apply for and to find solution to secure the budgets.
So through these challenges, maybe you can tell us if people think about doing a co-production as well. What did you learn during this process of co-producing animated movie?
Communication is key, I would say.
It's like in a couple.
It's always the thing that if you constantly talk, and this was not easy because we produced during COVID, so we never met. But the good thing is we had met once before, everybody all together, and this helped so much in all these Zooms and calls and things that you had been together in one room. I think this is really key to communicate and to talk about the challenges we all face together then. So, and never underestimate the production team, I would say, the production management team, because this is absolute, they guide everybody through the film and they should be there from the beginning, and a good team.
I mean, it's a cooperation of at least 2 years, and you will always have problems. You will always have problems. You might have cultural issues, you might have interpersonal issues. Therefore, it's good to find the right partner, have a proper communication, of course, as you say, and ideally to have a kind of decision matrix from the very beginning, so that there are not conflicts or questions are coming up during the production, how to handle now a certain problem. And another experience from us is investing as much time and money into the development and preparation of the project, so that ideally once the animatic is locked, you can start the execution of the project and avoid creative changes.
I have 2 short points. One is as a main producer, you have to be prepared to cash flow the whole process, to keep the team, to keep the production moving on. And the second point is maybe much more important, and I'm following you. Don't underestimate your development stage, because it's significant. It's more important phase in animation, and we double underestimate our budget for this. So I know what I'm looking, what I'm thinking about. Yeah.
And as a independent producer, I want to say that it's really important to take care of the point of view of the directors. Always we have to be agree with his strong creative visions, and it was a first feature for Kristina Duvkova. So main goal was to help her to push the universe and also to find solution to combine two techniques. And sometimes we have to improve our workflow to do some tests. And for example, for Living Large, we have some problem with color space. So we need to take time to do a lot of tests to find solutions. And so it was really really good adventure for us, because we find each step we find solutions for to go on with the project.
And is there like a real difference, or what is the difference between being a minority co-producer or majority co-producer? Does it make really a difference, and how? You have the answer, not me. I don't.
For us, it does not really make such a big difference. Most of our projects, which we develop, we are the main producer. We hold the majority, but no problem for us to be also a minority co-producer for other projects. So we are quite open. I mean, we had once a situation where during a production we started the project with a 49-51%, and during the production the other party went over budget, and at the end the relation changed, and we were not the main producer anymore, and that had an impact. That had an impact on certain financing, and an impact also on the distribution funding. So that is something one need to keep in mind, but otherwise we are open for both ways.
I think as a main producer you have some extra tasks, like most of the communication with the world sales and these overall things that, of course, in agreement with everybody and with the co-producers, but still there are some things where you also feel very much responsible for the whole film then. So, but also in minority productions, it's same responsibility feeling that you have, but it's a bit different, I would say. So.
But if we are not successful as a minor co-producer with financing, the project is still going on with the main producer. So it's the responsibility is a little bit higher with the main producer.
Same. Same. So, do you think which aspects do you think should be improved or changed to facilitate co-production, in your experience or opinion? Emily?
Definitely development facilities. I think this is, you can save so much afterwards. You said it already, if the script is well developed and you go with a proper shooting script into production and not with something where you think, okay, yeah, we fix it in animatic, this is not good. So, and also to wait, it's a bit hard as a producer sometimes to think, okay, I think we need another 6 months, but take these months and bring it to a state where it's really ready for production. And this is a funding thing, because development is expensive. And yeah, this should be improved. And then I think we still I'm a huge Europe fan, and we still have to work on regulating the regulations in one line with Europe, because even we have a co-production with Scandinavia, and if it comes to cost reporting, it's still not the same, and this takes so much time and power of the producers, so maybe we can come to one system somehow. I don't know. I still have some hope.
That's also my point. I wanted to say that all productions from us are official co-productions. That means we are working with the treaty or under the European Convention, which is good that we have it, but it's rigid. It's rigid. So the minor co-producer, according to the European Convention, can not have less than 10%. But if you have a smaller third co-producer in the financing and the budget goes up, he might go below the 10%. That's a problem, because all of a sudden you don't have a three-party co-production anymore. And there, if you work with low-cost countries together, then they're quite close to the 10%. And that's a risk. So having there a better flexibility would be a help for us, definitely. And also the harmonization of the points. I'm referring here to the cultural tests, to various cultural tests, which we have to handle in Germany for the financing, for the production, but also for the distribution support. And then there is on top another point system coming from Creative Europe. Okay, that's mainly for international sales, but what happened to us was that the German project all of a sudden, according to the European point system, turned out to be an Italian one.
And the small distributors from smaller countries, they really depend on this Creative Europe support. So it's sometimes it's a reason they buy a project or don't buy it if they can apply for this. So it's
so important, because there honestly sales and financing comes together, and it's great having this wonderful support from German films and also from Creative Europe. There are lots of opportunities for us which can make the difference, but again, it's a bit too complicated.
Yep. Peter? No?
No, just to increase the co-development funding in Europe can help to minimize all risks we all have to take before the production starts. So it's helpful, and I think there's a space to be increased.
Mark?
Also, as short admitted producers, means it's always complicated to produce film in Europe, because we always dream to harmonize all regulatory environments, and it depends of a lot of regulations about percentages and about the intensity of public funds. And some things takes long time to find the good balance between co-producer, and also there is a real issue about pre-production and development funds. We have chance in France to have a lot of possibility to finance our development, but it takes long times. And there is some issue also with CNC, because sometimes where you are a minor co-producer, you are more financially co-producer than delegate producer, so you do not generate money for your next film. So it can be helpful if you have the possibility as for our first feature films to have a second chance to earn money and develop the next film with automatic fund from CNC.
Yeah.
Maybe I can add, I personally am a real fan of co-production. Sometimes it sounds as if it's only a burden, because I think it's really good to look at a project from different sides from early on, and not only have our, for example, German perspective on something. So, and if this would be made a bit easier, so this would, I think also culturally, the films could benefit from this.
And creatively.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely. I was saying before that the cultural aspect could be a difficulty, but it definitely enriches the project. And for us, it's always the way how to finance. Otherwise, to finance budget in the range we are both working in, we would not have any chance then to work with co-producers. But when you found a good co-producer, treat him well, make the next project together, never change a winning team, I can say.
Actually, with those 4 movies we have today, do you still talk to your co-producers? Are you still working together?
Yes. We are just about to make the second one, so in exactly the same team. And yeah, this was a very good experience.
Successful one.
Yeah.
Yes, and we are so excited, or we were so excited about Three Doubles, that we managed together with them to become a shareholder in the company.
Yes. We are in development with the new project, in the same team, winning team, but with the Oscar winner co-producer, which will be difficult, I think, because it's too big for him, everything, around.
Or easier.
You can imagine. You can imagine. No. You can imagine. I think both way. But yeah, we are in a close touch and doing a new film by Michala Pavlátova based on the main character of the short film, which was here. So it's on the way.
And Mark, do you still send each other pictures of the Michelin bonhomme?
Always.
Always.
So we are finishing our short animated films named Tourist by Maria Kralovic. It's a co-production with Nowinski. And now we hope to finish the development of the next film of Kristina Dovkova. So it's good, real good opportunity for the future.
So it's nice. It's difficult, but you can, meet people with who you can do other projects and other success. I wish for you all other success. Looking at the room, if you have questions, we have a little time for questions for our 4 panelists. You see, they are really nice. And if you have pictures of Michelin bonhomme, don't hesitate also. So don't be shy. There is a mic as well. Everybody's so shy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's quite fascinating, and not being a very, very big pro of this part of production, could you tell us more or less, do you recoup, do you make money with animation, or are there stories where that was too hard? And also the part of the platform now, this new market on the platform, how does it play a positive role in attracting money? So at the end, how financially do you come out of those projects?
I think the financing part, which used to have the DVD and home entertainment, is not yet substituted by other home facilitators, so this is still a gap. But in general, as also Simone said, animation travels well, so that's why the world sales and the world, even overages from the cinema. If you have good admissions in other countries, there's some money coming in, but it's still hard. It's not huge.
Yeah, for us I can say that we produced 8 movies. in the past 10 to 12 years, which we could sell always more or less worldwide. So there is substantial money coming back. But Studio 100, we are not just acting as a producer, but we are also a sales agent. So we are selling our own movies under the company Studio 100 Film and also from third parties, because we see that there is a worldwide market and a worldwide niche where, speaking for Germany, your movies travel there, and others from other producers travel there as well. And so that's our view on things. And we think that at the moment it's quite, unfortunately, quite difficult with the financing. It's hard getting the financing from platforms. But now it even starts that the platforms do not back the deals from the distributors anymore, which is a problem. And we know markets go up and down, but hopefully it will go up soon again, because these backings are needed.
The recoupment is a difficult word, I think, for this. But we work with the films in a long-term way. So it's a piece of art, I think. These, especially animations for adults, which travel, which are distributed in other countries. My Cinemat was distributed in 4 countries in cinemas, including France, of course. So it's still on platforms again and again. So and it's a long-term thing. But recoupment is a really hard word, and I think it's not easy to explain now here in a minute.
So in France, we have the chance of to have some place to, for example, like Annecy Film Festival, we find our French distributor, Les Films du Préau. We have a different meeting with gap financing. Meeting and also the cartoon movie in Bordeaux, where we find our sales agent Wild Bunch GBK International. So we have the chance to sell the film in different countries. And for example, it will be screened in Japan in the end of the year. So some things. Seems totally crazy to have 4 producers who never produce features films, and at the end to have the experience to have the opportunity to have our film screened in Japan, in Eastern Europe, in Belgium, in Portugal, and we are discussing also with Australia. So we will see, but take times, and always a long-term investment.
Yes. Can you raise your hand a little? Yeah. Someone is coming to you. Yes. Thank you.
Hello.
And thank you for the question.
Hello, hello. You brought up the importance of a good shooting script. We've kind of had a situation where, it is a bit of a nightmare in production to figure all that stuff out. From your experience, how do you tackle that? Is it something that you do very early on when you select the scripts, or I don't know, just curious to hear.
Usually we don't get a script and then say we will produce it. That's part of the development process, that we have the idea which novel to make or just an idea, and then we do the script together with the writers and in the end also with the director, and so it's a long process to get this. But sometimes it's faster. On The Amazing Maurice we had Terry Rossio, who wrote Shrek and Pirates of the Caribbean, and it was really the second draft that we filmed, which we never had before. Sometimes it's 15, 16, 17 drafts, so it depends, but I think you get a feeling of when is it ready and not, and so, but the last version is always for the director.
and the script process doesn't end with the last script. So you end with the storytelling process once you have a locked animatic. And sometimes the changes in the animatic are also quite substantial to the story, because then you realize it's not working.
We build up the script writing around the author, and we do it parallelly, animatic and the script writing in the same way with the author, because it's an author-driven thing. So it's unusual, but we do it like
And
this.
then you put the script aside and let the director do it without script, right? As we learned before.
Close to it.
You wanted to add something, Mark? Or
No,
you are not forced to, it's not mandatory. No, don't worry. So is there like one last question? Yay!
Hi, thank you so much. I just wondering, what do you think of the AI technology will affect the animation production, or do you think you would consider to use any AI technology to your animation production in the future?
And good luck with the AI question.
In the future, I think yes, but not yet. So, in my opinion, in the sound business and in the dubbing process, this will be the first part where it will really get into the productions and take place. But for an 80-minute animation film, it doesn't hold yet. So it's maybe for moods, for the development, you can try to do things, but we are constantly investigating and following what's going on. Not me, our technical TDs and people, but at the moment, nothing has really taken part in production.
We used it in parts for our Heidi production. We asked our art director to design the Alps, and he designed the Alps in a very short frame. And then, in my own words now, I am not a technical guy, so please forgive me. So we used this image which he created, and we feed it AI with it. So that at the end, the artist could work with AI and extend the Alps. And they could say, make them higher, make alternatives to the left, put it in a different light situation. This is how we used it. But I fully agree that's a huge challenge for us.
I'm old-fashioned. I use the pencil, and my director as well. But in a production process, you can use AI. I think it's starting to be important. Yeah.
We use it for stop motion puppet, for example, to clean the gap when you do the lip sync. You have to change the form for the syllab, and so we use it to clean. And was a technical reason because the workflow was more simple like that.
Thank you very much, and I would say thank you very much for this panel. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Petr. Thank you, Torsten, and thank you, Emily. And thank you for being here for your questions.
Thank you.
So I'm sorry, since the next panel is in a very short time, we have to evacuate quick. But you can go in the queue because it's a very interesting panel with Fatih Akin and Hideo Kojima. So you can.